What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and in this video we are back to talk about the new fusion that is live and the plan for these upcoming 2 weeks. This is a fusion that, in my opinion, 99.9% of the people should skip, as is not going to be relevant for anything that we have right now in the game. And even if you don't have like good characters on the Ogrim's faction, there are many epics that you can use for your faction wars. And beyond that, you don't really need like anything too crazy. We'll talk about that, like options that you have for your faction wars for Ogrim tribes. And we're also going to talk about which rewards you should be focusing on during these 2 weeks, right? Because you can save all your energy if you want. You can accumulate your energy, like 10,000 energy or 20,000 energy, which, believe me, it's going to be a good decision if you decide to do so. But at the same time, there are some rewards during these events that you can go for without breaking the bank. So while you're still spending some energy, at least you're going to save some gems as instead. So that's going to be it. So we're going to break down all the information that you need to know in order for you to tackle this event, whether you're going for the fusion, whether you're not going for the fusion. And something that you need to consider is, if you are willing to spend money, you can unlock this guy without spending your shards. So that's another thing that you should have into consideration. But again, I'm not sure if it's a game changer for anyone out there in the world, even if you just started playing the game, especially if you just started playing the game. So as always, if you like information on these videos, make sure to share it to your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Raid Challenges content, and make sure to smash that like button like a boss. Okay, so this is a fragment fusion event. And if you can acquire over 50 shards, after there will be an offer that will show up on your box, and it will ask you if you want to buy the extra shards. The shards usually are $10 for each 5 shards. So if you reach the 50 shards from the events, then you can buy for $50. You can buy the other shards as well. But again, it's up to you to decide if it's going to be worth it or not. In my opinion, this guy is not worth it. If you do most of the events, maybe you can buy like $20 worth of shards and complete this guy. Maybe $20 is going to be worth for this guy, but definitely do not spend your sacred shards for him. It's just not good enough. Okay, so once again, for that you need to achieve a total of 50 shards, and these events will give you up to 130 shards, but 20 of these shards are going to be from the tournaments. That means only one player will be able to acquire those extra shards. So don't expect to acquire these, because you're going to be competing with 50 players or even 100 players, depending on what type of tournament. Okay, so first off, we have a Fire Knight tournament. Depending on where you are, maybe you need to do this for the Marius missions or Arbiter or something like that. Not going to be super relevant. Champion Training Tournament. This is where you can acquire your first amount of shards, big shards, up to 20 shards, but again, it's only for the top player, so forget about that. Classic Arena, you're gonna do this for sure. Gear Hunters, you want to do at the same time as the Fire Knight. And then you have the Dragon Tournament, but there is no Gear Hunters event, so you cannot double dip with these. You should wait for the second day, where you can overlap from the second Gear Hunters. Each Gear Hunters costs around 4,000 energy, while the tournaments themselves cost around 2,500 energy. So if you want to go all the way, you have to watch out, because you might be forced to spend like 800 additional energy. That is not part of this tournament. So you have to keep this in mind, as it will affect your energy spending and also your gem spending. And again, you should be trying to save at least your gems, if not your energy as well. Summon Rush, this is going to start tomorrow. Probably you should spend sacred shards if you are going for this, but again, you have to open like 6 sacred shards, maybe 7. Let's say 5, minimum 5. 5 times 20, it's $100. And again, if you skip this, you can buy this amount of shards for $15 instead, or $30 or whatever else. So does it make sense? It does not make sense, right? It does not make sense to do summon rushes or champion chase tournaments when you can buy the shards directly, and it's gonna be much cheaper. Okay, so once again, Dragon Tournament with the Gear Hunters only on the second day. And then you have Gear Enhancement Tournament. This is going to cost you between 15 million and 20 million silver, which is quite a lot. All the gear that you acquire, you have to sell most of it in order for you to complete this type of events. And you probably have to craft some as well in order for you to reach these goals. So keep that in mind. Then we have a Champion Training Tournament event. Painful. Champion Training Tournament, in case you don't have any champions to level up, is absolute drag. You have to make sure that you farm the low levels of the campaigns, so you can acquire a bunch of uncommon champions, and then you have to level them up, which is painful. Like, this is an absolute drag, but you can see that this is going to be like a 4-day event, maybe almost 5 days event. So yeah, at least you have that into consideration. You can lowball this one and do it slowly. Then we have another Gear Hunters event, which overlaps with the Ice Golem Tournament and with the Spider Tournament. But as you guys can see, you have only 3 days, and for Spider you only have 1 day. So you want to spend the 4,000 energy during this time frame for Ice Golem and for Spider. Classic Arena Tournament, whatever. Champion Chase Tournament. Again, I don't think it's worth it. You can open your remnants, you can open all these other things that you might have saved. I just don't think it's worth it. And then we have a final Gear Enhancement event. Once again, 20 million silver. Okay, so how many shards we can get without sweating and then buy the remaining shards? So we have 5. Here we have 15, 15, 20, 20, 25. 25 we have 30, 30, 35, 35, 40. Then we have 45. 50, 50, 60, 60, 70, and then we have 80. So you only have to buy 20 shards. You only have to buy 20 shards. Again, if it's going to be $10 for 5 shards, 20 shards, $40, still painful. It's still painful, but again, it's cheaper. It's much cheaper than doing these summon rushes and these champion chase tournaments. So that's a huge deal. If you are a spender, if you are someone that likes to collect these champions, this is going to be the cheapest way for you to unlock this guy. Complete all the tournaments, ignore the summon rush, ignore the champion chase, and then you're going to be able to buy the extra shards. Remember that this only works for fragment fusions. For other type of fusions, it does not work like this because they don't sell the extra shards to you. So keep that in mind. So there you go, guys. In my opinion, this is mostly a skip event, and this champion is really not going to change anything on your account. But if you are a collector, again, skip the summon rush, skip the champion chase tournament, and then you'll be offered to buy the extra shards if you want. And you can get up to 80 shards for free, and then you have to buy the other ones, $5 for each 10 shard. No, 5 shards for $10. So you still have to spend $40, which is a decent amount, but is not as much as participating as the summon rushes and champion chase tournament. So again, keep that in mind. Okay, let's go in game and see what we can do in terms of Ogryn tribes and why this guy is, in my opinion, is absolutely irrelevant, because you have many options if you manage to build them up. So Ogryn tribes, for example, this guy here, Cage Breaker, this guy is a very good damage dealer. I have him at 5 stars, and he was enough to complete full faction wars. Of course, it's not going to work for faction wars hard, but you can still push him to 6 stars and making him even stronger. Then we also have this guy, Galkut, is also pretty decent. Again, 5 stars, it was enough for normal faction wars. If you're going to go for faction wars hard, it's probably going to be cheaper to put this guy to 6 stars and get his masteries rather than being investing on a full legendary, because you also have to spend the books and so on, and I'm not sure if everyone has those books. You also have Grunge Killjoy that also applies bombs that can also be useful in faction wars hard. The missions where you need to use bombs is just 3 of them, and it's like in the middle of your journey, so even that is not going to be like super massive. So I mean, again, you have several options that you can use on this faction between epics and rares and so on, so it's not a big deal. In terms of the rewards you should be focusing on for this type of events, Of course, you want to get your primal materials for sure. So do the tournament, training tournament all the way to the primal shards and then stop. After that, the legendary book, it's a trap. This one is the mythical order. It's okay, but it's not like amazing by any means. Here on the Fire Knight tournaments, if you're not going all the way for the fragment fusion, you should go for the gold coins, because this is worth 10 mortal souls, and this is going to be 1,500 energy or so. So that's definitely worth it. That's like doing 10 times the Iron Twins tournament. So the Iron Twins daily, definitely worth participating in that. And here on the Gear Hunters, you should go maybe for the Basalt, maybe for the Ancient Shard, but beyond that, of course not. And you want to do this as you overlap with your training tournaments and with your Fire Knight, because if you have to spend energy just for this, then you are wasting. So keep that in mind. And that's my plan for this fusion. Again, it's not like it's not trash, but it's not like game changer by any means. And you can use different options with epic characters and so on, which you can easily empower and put almost to the same level as this guy. So you have to remember all of that when you are making the decision if you are going for this guy or not, which again, you should not go, and you should save everything for the December. But that's going to be the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below if you are thinking about going for this guy or not, and if you have any different thoughts from what I mentioned in this video. As always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Raid Shadow Legends content, and I will catch you guys later.